Joining us now for more is Javed Ali, former counterterrorism official, now a professor at the University of Michigan. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We have word investigators are looking into whether white nationalism was at play in the Allen, Texas shooting. If that ends up being the case, it's just one in a series of attacks that we've seen with this white supremacist ideology involved. Is there a white supremacy and lone wolf issue in this country?
Linsey, thanks for having me. And absolutely, there is a white supremacy neo-Nazi phenomena. It's been active in this country in ebbs and flows for decades. And I would argue going back to the Charleston attack in 2015 with Dylan Roof, that seemed to be the latest jumping off point for this phenomena to come back. And what we're seeing now, manifestations of it. It's almost always these lone gunmen who fly under the radar screen, even though they're demonstrating behaviors and activity that should be alerting or giving signs about potentially what they may intend to do, and yet they're not caught or they're not stopped until they go out and conduct an attack. And so the recent attack in Allen, Texas is unfortunately only the latest in a long line over the past decade.
Back in 2021, the Biden administration outlined a joint task force between the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI to combat domestic terrorism. It's been more than 2 years at this point. Have you seen enough to say that that task force is working?
So the Biden administration, smartly, when they came in, actually published a domestic terrorism strategy, the first ever in the country's history. And I, for one, was an advocate of that based on my previous work in government and in the White House. So I thought that strategy laid out a really good roadmap of new things, different parts of our government, to include FBI and DHS, were going to do. And I'm sure they are trying to make progress on the different pillars in this strategy, so to speak. But at the same time, what we're seeing with these attacks, it's so difficult to stop lone offenders who, for the most part, haven't committed a crime. And Garcia apparently didn't have a criminal record. He wasn't the subject of a prior FBI investigation. And it's not illegal to own multiple firearms in this country. It's not illegal to post really vitriolic things about people you don't like. And unfortunately, it's a combination of all these factors that makes it relatively easy for someone like this to go out and conduct an attack. So we're going to have to even rethink the strategy over the past couple of years, and what more can the administration and other subsequent administrations do to really roll this threat back.
Almost a year ago, the Buffalo massacre left 10 people dead. That shooter left behind a manifesto with white supremacy rhetoric. Here we are 1 year later. Would you say that enough is being done to counter this ideology that's leading to several of these massacres?
Well, part of the challenge here in the United States is the fact that these lone gunmen or these lone offenders are active online, and whether they're writing manifestos or posting photos of their intended targets, or just things that they're angry about. Right now, the social media companies, both big and large, are shielded from any liability for that content that resides on their platforms. And there's a policy debate that has been going on in Washington over the last couple of years. Is it time now to take that liability shield down under Section 230 of the 1996 Communications Decency Act? I, for one, think it's time to have the debate. And if anything, that liability shield may need to come down, because, again, the social media companies are the ones that potentially are going to see the signs of this activity first, and then do they have a corporate responsibility or any other kind of social responsibility to flag that for law enforcement for further action or follow-up? So this is one of the real problems we have on our hands right now, and we need to have a debate in Congress about whether this law needs to be changed.
Professor Javed Ali, we thank you so much for your insight. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Linsey.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.